Sorry. If you have not signed in, please do. Sign-in sheet is there at the door at the table. Thank you so much.
Okay, quick announcement in Spanish. Si alguien requiere servicios de traducción a español, favor de buscarme al fondo del lado izquierdo. Gracias.
Yeah, that's it. This is Mary Hall. This is Councilor Brazil. Nice to meet you. She leads housing and homelessness advocacy. She leads the housing advocacy group for. Hi. Hello. From the Santa Fe Housing Forum.
No, because
Yes.
not currently, but there have been other directors in the past that have been so excited about designating housing residential. So I would love to hear that too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you come here? Can you come here? Yes.
Hello? 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 Hello, hello, hello. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me now? Okay. We're going to go ahead and get started. Everything's okay? Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. I greatly appreciate the time that you've taken to be here. I know that some of you have children and you'll need to attend to them, so I appreciate you all being here. Hola, gracias por venir esta noche. Hola, mi nombre es Fabiola. Fabiola Chávez. Gracias por venir aquí esta noche. Tu voz es muy importante, so gracias por estar aquí esta noche. Bueno? Okay, so I just wanted to let you all know that we have the privilege of having our mayor here tonight, Mayor Garcia. So, Mayor Garcia, this is your department. Thank you for everything you do for us and to push our affordable housing initiatives. Again, my name is Fabiola Chavez. I am the Director of Affordable Housing here at the City of Santa Fe. Thank you so much for being here today. As I mentioned, your voices matter. It's important that you become involved and are here tonight. So thank you. Next slide. Christina, your head's in the way. Next slide. Just press enter. You should be able to press enter. Or down, maybe? Okay, I'll just make a brief announcement. If you haven't signed in, please make sure and do so. We want to make sure if we don't have the answers for you tonight, that we will have those messages available to send to you in response to any of your questions, okay? So please make sure and sign in. And then just for our Spanish speakers, perdón, porque mi español no es muy bien, pero gracias, okay? Okay, here we go. Thank you. Thank you, Jarek. Thank you, Jerica. Again, please make sure and sign in. Tonight, we will be discussing our affordable housing projects here at the City of Santa Fe. And our funding sources, we'll be talking about the reality here in Santa Fe and what's happening with affordable housing. We will also be talking about what we've accomplished, which is a lot. So be prepared to be thoroughly fascinated, because I was being so new to this department. I am really impressed what this staff has been able to accomplish, and I would not be able to do anything without them, so I greatly appreciate their abilities and what they're able to do. We're going to talk about the challenges and the constraints of affordable housing. We're also going to talk about our how homeownership is attainable. HomeWise will be doing a presentation, and then the Housing Trust will also be doing a presentation in regards to our partnership with them. And then at the end, once all of our presenters have presented, we're going to have questions and answers. Okay? So next slide. So who we are. Next slide. So this is our mission and our values. I'm going to have to read it from here because I can't see it on my slide, so I apologize. So mission for the Affordable Housing Department So our mission in the Affordable Housing Department is to create Okay, can everybody hear me now? So the mission for the city of Santa Fe's Affordable Housing Department is how the housing mission will create and support housing opportunities that maintain and enhance the economic and social cultural diversity of our community. Then our vision for the City of Santa Fe's Affordable Housing Department is to focus on creating a housing ecosystem where residents can live, work, thrive in a safe and decent place to call home, with community collaboration, equitable planning, and long-term strategies at the heart of each effort. Next slide, please. So we do have a consolidated plan. Our consolidated plan is currently out on our website. This is a 5-year consolidated plan, which HUD requires us to identify what our needs are here in Santa Fe. So the 6 core priorities are: expand affordable housing rental, expand affordable housing home ownership opportunities, respond to the homeless and support services, increase housing stability for all, and ensure housing sustainability for home ownership, and support the health and social deterrence linked to housing. Next slide. The Santa Fe Affordable Housing Department chart is up here. You'll see that we currently have 2 vacancies. We have a project manager position that is opened, and then we have a contract administrator position that's also open. So if you are interested, please do not hesitate to apply. What is the reality? Next slide. What is the reality of Santa Fe's housing? Next slide. So rents have increased by 74% since 2016. Home prices have increased to 80% since 2016. Our incomes here in Santa Fe have only increased by 36%. I'm sorry. Can we stop the screen from flickering? I'm getting a lot of comments up here. Maybe just turn it off. It will be available on our website. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm sorry? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and just continue without the visuals, if that's okay. And these will be posted on our website. So the average home prices are compared. I compared Santa Fe's home prices with Los Alamos County, Coconino County, which is Sedona, and Boulder, Colorado. I tried to do comparisons for similar jurisdictions. So in Santa Fe, our average home price as of today is $509,290. An average mortgage is $2,018. In Los Alamos, the housing prices are $505,798,000. The average mortgage in Los Alamos is $2,898. In Coconino County, which is Sedona, Arizona, which is pretty similar to Santa Fe, their home prices are $507,000 with a mortgage of $2,900. The reason why I bring this particular city up is because I came from the 5th largest city in America, and my home price there was more, and I have 2 homes there in the 5th largest city of America, Phoenix, and my 1 home here was more than my 2 homes there. So this is a huge crisis that we're up against. Boulder, Colorado is another similar community to the city of Santa Fe, and their housing prices consist of $775,958,000 with a mortgage of $4,446. So here in Santa Fe, our poverty in Santa Fe is slightly decreased from 12.8% in 2019 to 12% in 2024. The total number of people in poverty has also declined slightly. Overall, poverty levels have remained fairly stable over time here in Santa Fe. Even though the Santa Fe poverty rate has lowered more than New Mexico's average and the US average, housing here is much more expensive. This means many people are not officially in poverty, are still struggling to afford rent or buy a house. This is why affordable housing remains a critical issue for our community here in Santa Fe. So I'm going to talk a little bit about rent burdensome. So HUD defines rent burden. If you are paying 30% of your salary to your utilities and to your mortgage, you are house burdened. So according to the statistics, severely burdened renters spend more than 50% of their income on rent and utilities. The trends, I wish I could show my screen, so I apologize again that I can't. The trends show that cost burden renters has increased from 42.6 to 42.6 to now 46%. The data shows that more renters here in Santa Fe are struggling to afford housing. Today, more today than just a few years ago. Nearly half of all renters are spending more than 30% of their income on housing, and many are spending over half of their income. Even though Santa Fe is close to the state of national average, the trend is moving in the wrong direction. And now I'm going to talk about our home ownership crisis. So cost burden for home ownership, again, is 30% of your income goes to housing. That is what HUD defines as cost burden. So studies show that there has been a decrease from 25.2% to 23.3%. About 1 in 4 Santa Feans are struggling to pay their mortgage. While we're seeing a small improvement for home ownership, about 1 in 4 are still cost burdened. Santa Fe remains higher than both the state and the national average, which tells us that home ownership here is still expensive and out of reach for many households. So here are a few of the lessons learned that we need to start thinking about implementation. So the city of Las Cruces has formed a land bank. It's been very successful for them. And the way they've done that is they've acquired a lot of property in Las Cruces. What that means is that all the funding resources that they had, they contributed that to the land bank. This includes CDBG funds, Community Development Block Grant. This includes home funds, which our city does not get, but they injected all of that capital to create housing stock. When you create housing stock, you control your market. And so I'm giving you alternatives here. I'm not asking you to come to me today and let's solve this problem, but I'm trying to provide alternatives of what we can do and things that we have seen that have worked in the past. Yes. Yes. They purchased their own housing and they put it in a housing bank, is what they call it. The city of Santa Fe does own several property sites. So let's keep that in mind, okay? So the only downfall to the way the city of Las Cruces did it is they did a GO bond. What that means for each of you is that your taxes will increase if we do that. So we don't want that to happen because that just increases our burden, right, that we're currently facing. So that was a downfall. But the pros is that they were able to control the cost when they did that, control the cost of the houses. I'm going to also share, because I come, again, from the 5th largest city of America, and so at the city of Phoenix, I was involved in the Phoenix Pride program. The Phoenix Pride program was established as a nonprofit entity arm of the city of Phoenix. What they did is also a land bank. So the city assisted with all of their disposition property. They maintained that, they kept it. They kept all of the property that was readily available for development. They used that as a land bank. What they did is they also partnered with developers that wanted to come into the city of Phoenix and develop land. They partnered with them, giving them a low cost of land, but also asked for a portion of their deferred developer fee. So when that happens, they had more money to inject into their Phoenix Pride program and deploy more housing to the residents in Phoenix. So for the city, for cities like Santa Fe, with this model could translate into a priority site. Programs using city land paired with affordable housing trust funds, structured using RFPs and a pipeline for development, can build in affordable requirements with securing properties with a LORA for a certain amount of time that the property must maintain affordability. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. An RFP is a request for proposal. So again, I'm going to go back to just, what I know, because I worked for the city of Phoenix for a very long time, and what I know is that they had a huge influx in 2021 of people coming in because it's an economic rich community. So we had an influx of people coming in and we didn't have housing. We were able to create over 500 units in a year. So it's plausible if we use a model like this. What have we accomplished here in Santa Fe's Affordable Housing Department? We have actually accomplished a lot. I'm only going back for the last 2 years because I was not here in 2024. We had an interim director and one employee. Still with that, we were able to deploy a significant amount of dollars. So I wish I had my PowerPoint because I could show you my little pie chart that reflects the amount of deployment of funding that this department did. So in 2024 and 2025, we released $7.5 thousand in Affordable Housing Trust Fund dollars. We also deployed community development block grants in the amount of that exceeded $1 million in the 2 years. We also gained, I should say, a fee in lieu of about, this is really hard to read, about $175,000 in the last 2 years. So again, this department has deployed a lot of money to our community. So in 2024, we had outcomes of $4,450,465. This included the funds for the Affordable Housing Trust Fund and CDBG, which is Community Development Block Grants. In 2024, we expanded a lot of homeless solution efforts. We provided down payment assistance and home repair, along with a lot of other programs for community development. In 2025, this department is scheduled to deploy over $4,181,000 to our community. Our community development block grant should go to our governing body this April, and we will be awarding over 633, I'm sorry, no, that's not right, 5,000, I'm sorry, I can't see it. Thank you. So we are expected to deploy 506,780 in community development block grants. This year, we really focused on multifamily housing development and putting units in service for our most vulnerable populations. What we did is we awarded several multifamily housing developers, and we also partnered with the county, which is a great initiative for us, right? Many municipalities have to join forces to combat these severe crises. So it was a way for us to really partner with another municipality and get funds out the door, and then plus create units, affordable units. So the Nueva Acequias development is 80% and below the area median income, every single unit there. So we are very proud of this partnership that we did. Then we also created an award for housing spine infrastructure for HomeWise is developing about 1,500 single-family dwellings, and they received spine infrastructure. This is ultimately going to be affordable for 40% of those homes will be considered affordable. Then we also provided funding in 2025 to the Housing Trust. The Housing Trust is developing in Ocate, their Ocate development, and so we have someone here to present on their Ocate development. But like I said, you have to please keep in mind that this department has been struggling to keep a director in place and then struggling to have staff. And even though we didn't have those forces and those mechanisms, we were able to deploy over $7 million in the last 2 years to our community. It is very impressive, and I'm so grateful for this team. I'm so grateful for my Community Development Commission because I cannot do this alone. And they help me to be transparent. They help me to stay on track. My employees they are the boots on the ground. They are doing all of the work, and I am just a vessel. Without them, I couldn't do this. So thank you for everything that you guys do. Thank you. I don't know how to get to the next page, so I'm going to come over here. Okay, so here's where some real fun's going to come into. It's not that many zeros and not that many digits. So what does this mean for Santa Feans with all of this money that we've deployed? I'm going to tell you right now what this means. This means that we've created in the last 2 years 243 affordable rental units. We have assisted affordable home ownership opportunities for 1,545 people. We've assisted home repair for our most vulnerable population at the number of 34 individuals, or 34 homes, I should say. And we've combated homelessness, and we've helped 3,843 people with our Community Development Trust and our trust fund. That's impressive. It's not as impactful as we would all love to see, but these are real lives that we're transforming, and that we're making a difference in people's lives. So the City of Santa Fe's Office of Affordable Housing did produce a 5-year affordable housing plan. And in 2024, in addition to extensive community profile and housing needs assessment, a report also contained a summary of stakeholders for focused groups and surveys conducted. Our consolidated plan, again, is posted on our website. It's good to 2027. I really hope that each of you do your research and look at that consolidated plan. It's important to hear your voices. Your voices are what contributed to the consolidated plan. And now I'm going to turn it over to our planning department.
Thanks, Fabiola. Appreciate it. Hopefully I'll be able to talk without too much interference. So thanks, everyone. Yes, thanks, Fabiola. My name is Maggie Moore. I'm the Assistant Land Use Director for our Planning and Land Use Department at the city. And my compatriot here, Dan Escobar, is our current Planning Manager. So one of the functions of our work is to review and approve all of the development, commercial and residential applications that come before the city, ensuring compliance with our adopted ordinances, building codes, et cetera. So I just wanted to share some of the efforts that we're making as the department, both in that review process, but also in other efforts like our update of Chapter 14, which is the city's codes, our development codes. We're also working on our general plan update, which some of you maybe have heard or seen in the community. We've been working on it for about a year. The last time our general plan was updated was in 1999. So you can imagine that we need to take another look at what the vision and goals of the city of Santa Fe are broadly and in the long term. So Santa Fe Forward is going to be looking, 20 to 25 years in the future. And not surprisingly, what we hear from the community is the core concern is about affordable housing, of course. So it's not just you in this room. It's, folks that we meet at events all throughout the city through our community partners, which are nonprofits that we're working with on this effort as well. So we know it is a broad-based and really significant concern that's present today, but also looking ahead 20 years is how do we solve for this so that our home prices don't continue to go up, our home prices don't continue to be unaffordable. Also with the general plan update, I'll just say, some of the things we're observing as the current state of Santa Fe is that our population is continuing to age, that our school enrollment is declining. I think these things can be tied directly back to the affordable housing, issues that we have. We want to make sure that Santa Fe is welcoming to young families who can move here and, put their kids in school. So that's just another plug I'll say. With the code update specifically that we were successful in passing with the governing body's support at the end of last year, we passed several measures that were aimed at improving affordability in Santa Fe. So I'll just overview a few of those. Some of you may be familiar with the standard affordability requirements in our current code. We also passed an enhanced affordability package for those developers who would like to go beyond the minimum requirements of like a 20% affordability is the minimum requirement now. So if a developer wants to go to 30 or 40 or above 50 or 100% affordability on their projects, they become eligible for a new suite of incentives to make those types of developments more palatable for everyone. We also relaxed our parking requirements in different areas and allowed for greater parking flexibility at developments. Parking takes up a lot of land, and so that's cost. And so that drives up the cost of housing. So if we can provide, more walkable communities, more dense communities, then we can also provide fewer parking associated with that. We also made some flexibility around accessory dwelling units. Accessory dwelling units are already allowed on every residential property with some design, my caveats, and you need a building permit. So come in and talk to us if you want one. But we allowed ADUs to be the same height as residential structures. And what this means is that if somebody has a garage and they want to put a ADU on top of that garage or something, or they've got a single-story house and they want to, you don't just necessarily need to put it in the backyard, but this will allow you to put it on your garage or something along those lines. We also added, this is a kind of term of art, but missing middle housing. Some of you have maybe heard about that. These are what you know is a single family detached home and the apartments that are going up. What missing middle is are things that are really familiar actually in Santa Fe, in the downtown historic area, like compounds where you have maybe 4 or 5 triplexes or connected, units, duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes, these types of things, and compounds. We want to, be explicitly that these types of housing are preferable or desirable and allowed in residential zoning districts within the city. We are starting to embark on phase 2 of the code update. And with that, we have a whole host of additional goals. Many of them are targeted at housing and improving affordability. One of the projects we're also working on is a move toward electronic permit review, which probably doesn't affect too many people in this room, but for developers who are working with us on, whether they're local developers or, Pulte Homes or whatever, we are moving towards an electronic process for reviewing and maintaining those plans, which builds in a lot of affordability and a lot of cost and time saving for developers, which is critical. We are also working on a development guide, which will give residents and staff and everyone a similar playing field and build transparency into our requirements and our processes, and hopefully make those processes run a little smoother. When we are updating phase 2 as well, we are looking at additional ways to add architectural standards and improve our architectural standards for housing and commercial building within the city. We want to continue to, I mentioned the missing middle housing, want to continue to develop the design standards and use standards around those and clarifying where, to incentivize those types of developments. So we're really working on a lot of different fronts, and certainly with Fabiola. I did just want to share a few data points from our side of things, and we of course track our permits, and I think it's also very, when you drive around Santa Fe, you see a lot of things under construction. As a resident, I do, and I'm like, oh yeah, that project. And I know a lot about all of those projects and the timeline that it takes to go from when they come in to when they're now under construction. But last year, I will share that what we actually permitted to construct 249 single-family homes, 373 multifamily homes, and I will say we're talking a large part of that is the Zia Flats right down the road. That's currently under construction, but that was permitted last year. And then we had 42 affordable homes within that number, and that is about it represents about 16% of those single-family homes that were built. Going back to the 2024, very similar numbers, except for the multifamily really dipped in 2024, but we did see big numbers in 2022 and 2023 in multifamily, going back to 840 permits issued, or units, and 742 for multifamily. And that represents a lot of the other projects that you see, around the city that are under development or, under construction or recently opened to the city. And we certainly have more in the pipeline that we're working on and working with our permitting department to get permitted and constructed and occupied by So thank you, guys. Appreciate any questions. Yep. Back to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So I'm going to be quick here because I know that we are coming against time. So I want to be able to give you guys an opportunity to ask your questions. Again, the Affordable Housing Trust Fund is available for anyone that is wanting to develop new affordable housing. So that is usually a $3 million injection from our general fund. And then also we have the Santa Fe Homes program that this department runs. We have the Community Development Block Grant that this department also administers. And then we also have our new initiatives where people that are being discriminated against, they can file a report with the city housing department for income discrimination. So that's available. We administer that program as well. And then again, our fee in lieu program. So the city's affordable housing department is very busy with a lot of different programs. So we do have a lot of challenges and constraints that we're up against. So housing costs in Santa Fe have risen and faster than the inflation for many years. Over the past 25 years, rent has increased by 3.4 annually compared to 2.7 of the general pricing. So while we look at home ownership, the situation becomes even more challenging. To afford a median home here in Santa Fe, households need to earn $172,000. This is more than double Santa Fe's median income. We are seeing an increase in risk of displacement. When people cannot keep up with rising housing costs, they are often forced to move out to other communities. If this trend continues without intervention, it could impact our workforce and our local economy and long-term sustainability of Santa Fe. So how can you get engaged? So in the next coming weeks, we are going to be issuing a notice to the paper about our annual action plan. This is your opportunity for to be invited to another public meeting. It will be held sometime in April. Once we solidify those dates, like I said, then it will be posted in the New Mexican, and you will have 30 days to comment on any initiatives that you would like to see for affordable housing. This is your opportunity. So please make sure and fill out a survey, fill out the information on the annual action plan, and come to our public meeting also. Another next step that we'll be doing for your opportunity to participate is we will be releasing a request for proposal in the upcoming days for our Affordable Housing Trust Fund, and then also for our Community Development Block Grant. So your voice matters. We want to make sure that you are taking the survey that's listed on our website and tell us what's important to you. We also want to invite you to again come to our community event when we do our annual action plan for the Community Development Block Grant. And then I will pass it on to Elena with HomeWise.
That's okay. Good evening, everybody. I'm so excited to see so many people turn out on a late evening. I was going to say Monday, Tuesday. I can't even remember what day it is. But Elena Gonzalez, Chief Operating Officer for HomeWise, and I'll be talking about our programs, but how we really partner with the City of Santa Fe. And we're happy to really share that, believe it or not, we will be celebrating this year our 40th anniversary. So we've been around for 40 years addressing the exact issues that we're talking about tonight. Our mission is really, how do we help people get ahead through home ownership? How do we help families build that first-time wealth or generational wealth? I'm born and raised in New Mexico. My family's been here for generations. It is so important, not only to the people that have been here for many years, but to all of us. Your kids go here, you want them to stay, you want them to work, you want them to buy a house, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So HomeWise is a nonprofit organization. Big fancy word, CDFI. What does that mean? A community development financial institution, a nonprofit community lender. We're very mission driven. We are, when Mike Lofton, our CEO in the audience, when he started this organization so many years ago with the exact same perspective as we're having here tonight. If you work in Santa Fe, gosh, you ought to be able to afford to buy a home here and live here and have a shorter commute to work. So at HomeWise, our mission is just that, to help people get ahead through home ownership, like I said, but it's so much more. How do we help families navigate the complexity of buying a home? So over the years, we have added more and more services, really in response to you all. So we have homebuyer education courses, our financial fitness courses. We put a lot of time, labor, and love into individual financial coaching, sitting across from each of you, saying, how can we help you afford to buy a home? We look at barriers that might have held you back, credit, debt, savings, income. All of these pieces of the puzzle are really important. And so what we've done over the years, it's like, you know what? Let's partner with cities. Let's figure out how we can bring more resources to the table. So when we are pre-qualifying borrowers and doing this education, it's very customized, and we want to make sure and look at all of these factors and get you pre-qualified for whatever resources that we have access to. When I said community lender, we dig deep. We offer really affordable mortgages, so we do mortgage lending. We keep all of the loans, we service them. It's a one-stop shop at HomeWise. We're very proud of that. And the mortgages that we offer, conventional financing, no mortgage insurance, we're just really trying to make it affordable and boost people's purchasing power. And when Fabiola talked about the importance of Affordable Housing Trust Fund and CDBG, the Community Development Block Grant, it's like, hey, they came to the table and they'll put out an RFP, and HomeWise over the years has answered those RFPs because we need more resources to help you. So we have done homebuyer assistance with both of those programs, AHTF, Affordable Housing Trust Fund, and CDBG, and that has been instrumental in helping our lower income families bridge that gap. We all know tonight there's an affordability crisis here in Santa Fe and here in our state. You know, most families that we serve, they qualify for maybe this much in a mortgage, and here is the entry-level price. Who's going to fill that gap? HomeWise has worked tirelessly to figure out how to fill that gap by partnering with cities and counties and the state and the feds. I mean, for example, our Congresswoman, Teresa Leger Fernandez, came to the table and said, what could I do, a couple of years ago? And she was able to get her community project funding, some congressionally delegated funding, and said, I'll help. And so we were able to use a down payment assistance program with those funds. And sometimes we coupled it with the funds from Santa Fe, AHTF or CDBG, because people just need more help. We also came to the table as a developer and a home builder, and that's really important. And Fabiola mentioned the Santa Fe Homes program. The only city in our state that has an affordability ordinance, thank goodness, because it holds builders and developers accountable and said, hey, if you're coming to Santa Fe, 20% of what you build has to be affordable by the city's guidelines. And it's a great program because that actually is the saving grace for a lot of families that we serve. So it's a form of down payment assistance, if you will, and we love building mixed income communities. You can go into a subdivision, and I like to dispel the myth that affordable housing does not mean cheap sticks and bricks. Affordable housing means, how do we make this house affordable to this family? It's the same house. We all deserve the same high-quality housing here in Santa Fe. So I like to say that because it's really all about the financing. How do we couple it with an affordable mortgage, with CDBG, with AHTF, whatever we can to make it affordable for that family. We also offer post-purchase support. We're here for the long haul in Santa Fe and in New Mexico. So the families that we've served, and we service their loans. A lot of people don't know that. We service all of our loans. We've helped over 7,000 families in New Mexico obtain homeownership. And we service those loans so they're not calling some 1-800 mortgage servicer in Connecticut when they have a problem. You know what we do? We say, come in, have coffee. What's going on? What happened? Oh, your husband passed, let's figure this out, or you lost your job, or God forbid during COVID, you know, people's incomes went down. people were in dire straits, and we stepped up. We were trying to access money everywhere we could to help these families. So I want to let you know that coming to HomeWise, all of our services are free. We will post information on how to apply for these down payment assistance programs that Fabiola talked about, just to see how is this possible for you instead of buying somewhere else in the state and commuting to work to Santa Fe. Even some of our developments are going to be huge, like Los Prados in South Santa Fe. I mean, eventually that's going to be 161 units, of which half of them will be affordable, and we're going to include a community city park, and that will be great to partner with the city of Santa Fe as well. We're trying to really be a partner to the people in this room and to the city of Santa Fe, and we're not afraid of hard work. We have a great staff, we have great capacity. We're going to come to the table every day of the week and say, how can we help? So I appreciate all the programs that the city of Santa Fe has to offer. Thank you for letting us be a partner in those. We will take questions at the end, and please, we don't have our slides, but it's pretty easy to remember, homewise.org. You can apply, and we can get started with you right away. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Elena. Angela, do you want to come up and talk about the Housing Trust?
Hi, my name is Angela Peinado. I'm the Director of Operations at the Housing Trust and also another partner with the City of Santa Fe. We've been partners for many, many years. And what I'm going to have Ron, he is our senior housing counselor. He's been with this organization over 20 years. And so he's worked with the clients, and I'll have him give some more information, and I know you may have questions as well.
Welcome, everybody. Sorry about this audio issue, but thank you for coming tonight. A lot of concerned citizens is a very encouraging thing, so thank you. So on my way here tonight, I was just Googling, and I Googled, Google, what is affordable housing? And the reply was, never heard of it. So, just kidding, just kidding. My parents bought their first home in Casa Solana for $23,000. This was probably in the 70s, early 70s. Lots changed since then in this city. Some for the better, some for the not so better at this point. The Housing Trust is also, like HomeWise, what they call a housing nonprofit. Our organization was formed to help address the rising cost of housing while incomes started to lag behind in our city. Tiger Abeta is our CEO, and he has always promoted mission-driven, innovative ways to put Santa Feans in suitable housing. That's our mission, not just in Santa Fe, but as well as northern New Mexico. This is the primary focus of our housing issues, and with good reason. Obviously, housing prices as they relate to income, area median income of our citizens is a severe problem right now. But housing is really a diverse field, you know, in which several issues from things like fair housing to fair lending to finding innovative ways to place Santa Feans into suitable housing, whether that's home ownership or a rental, either one is applicable depending on the situation. Bringing actual dollars, education, advocacy to the table. We help the city as well, just like HomeWise does, implement its housing initiatives by providing housing counseling and administrative support for things like the homes ordinance as well. Our primary method is via partnerships. You'll probably hear that word a lot tonight, and with good reason, because I see several partners, you know, in the room and around the room, and a housing crisis can never be solved by any single organization. That's just a reality. Cooperation is crucial, you know, from private sector groups to local and municipal governments, to nonprofits like us and HomeWise. The environment in Santa Fe has become cooperative, and I'm very happy to see this. I've been in the housing counseling industry for about 22 years now, and I've seen a lot of changes in the entire environment, from a spirit of competition, which is not a bad thing necessarily in and of itself, to a spirit of cooperation. And so organizations like HomeWise and the Housing Trust can partner on things now. We can partner with lenders to offer unique secondary financing proposals. There's a lot of different partnerships going on, and we believe that an educated home buyer is going to be a successful one. So that's really one of our primary missions as an organization. Our development, our most recent development, I should say, is called Arroyo Oeste. It's an entirely affordable development made up of 20 homes in which we, private lenders, state and city governments, have contributed to really create a vision in which we're going to now place 20 moderate and low-income families into homes that they otherwise may not have been able to get into. So we're very proud of that program and that project. Our organization has goodies in the back, information that may help someone or someone you know resolve some kind of housing issue. So I encourage you to stop by, pick up a flyer. This will describe what we do, why we do it, and how we do it. And if you have more questions after reading that, you're always welcome to either come by our office on Jaguar Drive, or you can give us a call, email us, and we will be glad to get you to the right person that can address your issues. So we'll be happy to do that. My only advice, apart from HomeWise's great presentation, was do not assume that you are outside of our scope of people who can obtain products and services. Don't self-select out. It's important that you at least do the due diligence, and if you have an issue, whether it be fair housing, whether it be finding suitable housing, whether it be dealing with a delinquent mortgage, whether it be you're considering a reverse mortgage and you would like maybe some counseling on that to maybe provide you with insights that maybe you didn't think about. Those are all things that the Housing Trust can provide for free as well. So come and see us and let us be your guide. If there's anything that we can do, our mission is to provide that guidance to the people of Santa Fe. So I really appreciate your time, and thank you for coming out tonight.
I just want to acknowledge that we have Kathy Collins here also from Habitat. If Kathy, would you like to share a few words about our partnership?
Hi, y'all. I know it's late. Thank you for sticking around. We have always partnered with the city, particularly around our preservation of affordable housing for people who are on typically fixed income. I have Fritz. This is not a nice feedback here. I'll step back. Fritz, if you can stand up so people can see you, and they may want to. So Fritz runs our repair program for the city that we use with city funding. And while most people know us for our home building process, we also believe that it's really important to preserve the existing affordable housing inventory, because it's a lot cheaper to preserve something than it is to build it new. And we also know that there are a lot of Santa Feans who want to stay here, and a lot of them are older and that don't want to be displaced from their homes. And so we offer repair programs for those things that are critical, that allow them to stay in their homes and allow them to be up to code on things. So that's a really important thing that we do. And obviously we build new homes, and there are different ways that the city supports us in how we do that. We just purchased a Casa de Todos subdivision, which we will be building 58 homes there, and we only build affordable homes. So we only service those earning between 30 and 80% of the area median income. So those are a lot of first people getting into homes, starter homes, people who who do a lot of the work for us in this community that we want to be able to live here and afford that. And we do the entire process. You go through our home ownership program, you help build your own house, you learn about being a good homeowner, being a good neighbor, all the financial literacy that goes with it. We partner with HomeWise on that training. And then we provide you with a 0% interest mortgage based on your income. And it's charged for, you get charged 30% of that. So we are the developer, the construction, the social service agency, and the banker. So you become part of the Habitat family in this process of getting this home. Most people don't realize that the people that we partner with are actually purchasing the home with a mortgage. A lot of people think we give our homes away. We do not. We don't have the best financial model because we raise money to be able to play the role of banker and to play the role of construction and developer. But it is how it works, and we invite a lot of people in. Probably many of you have volunteered yourselves or know someone who is a Habitat homeowner. And if we welcome you. We don't have any literature with this. I thought this was going to be a little bit different, that a lot of y'all were going to be speaking about what you thought about affordable housing. I do want to echo who was up here from HomeWise, that affordable housing does not have to be ugly. And Jerry Little, our new Director of Construction Services, and I are in agreement about that an affordable home can be a beautiful home. And I think you will see that when you see what we do with Casa de Todos. Feel free, Fritz, Andrew in the back, if you'll stand up so people can see you, and Jerry, so that at the end you can ask any of us, Jerry, stand up so that they can see you, ask any of us any questions that you may have about how to get involved with us. And we're very grateful to all the different ways that we figure out how to partner with the city. Thank you, Fabiola.
Thank you so much, Kathy. We really appreciate all of our partners for sharing their knowledge with us and always being willing to step up and help us to deploy our funding. I also wanted to acknowledge Alma Castro. She is our CDC chair. Councilwoman Alma Castro, thank you for being our leader, and thank you for all of what you do for the city of Santa Fe. We greatly appreciate what you do. We also have some other counselors in here, so thank you for everything you do to help our city be the best that it could possibly be. We greatly appreciate your partnership. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions.
One of us you're pointing to. Oh, you're pointing to me. Thank you.
Hi. I know that you have talked a lot about getting people into housing, getting people to be homeowners, managing mortgages. Is there anything that you plan to do about this feedback's terrible. Is there anything you plan to do about how high rent prices are in Santa Fe?
Yes, thank you. That's a great question. We are continuing to partner with developers that come into Santa Fe. If they can prove that they have deep impact affordability, this would be having some set-asides for 50, 60% AMI and 80% of the area median income. It's very important that we do partner with those deep, affordable developers. So yes, we are going to continue to do that, and our initiatives will continue.
All right, thank you, Dana. And I stole his chair. I was just going to talk a little bit about some legislative initiatives that Director Chavez isn't working on, but we don't actually have minimum standards for renters in the city of Santa Fe, and we don't have a permitting system for long-term rentals. We do for short-term rentals, but not for long-term rentals. So first and foremost, we need to know who is renting in the city of Santa Fe. So I'm working with a group of other counselors on a rental registry. I know that sounds terrible, but really it's just to know what is available in the city of Santa Fe so we can better understand the landscape.
Yeah. Hello. Okay. Hello, my name is Jerry Davin. Me and my wife separately came out here over 50 years ago. It's on. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, I lived on West Manhattan at first. It was a slum then. And ever since then, I've been uprooted a number of times. And so I've seen it change a lot. When I was out here, it was about 40,000 people. Now they say there's 100,000 people. When are we going to stop? We're going to go to 150? You got water for everybody? You're still building unaffordable homes all over the place. I love, seem to build all the unaffordable homes first before you started building affordable apartments. I don't know what's going on here. I mean, I'm only going to live maybe 10 more years, so it's your problem after that. But I just want to say one thing. About 15, 16 years ago, my son got a very affordable deal from HomeWise, and he's in a nice house. And I don't know what, anyway, that's all I wanted to speak. This is ridiculous. This town is being ruined. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And I will address those comments if you'd like. So I will let Director Fabiola sort of give that to the governing body, and I don't represent the whole governing body, so I will speak for myself, Councilor. I agree. As somebody who has been priced out of my own city and struggling to stay here, and especially in District 1, So, sorry, I was asked to introduce myself. So just for context, my name is Alma Castro. I represent District 1. Born here all my life. I am from Santa Fe. I've had to go do other things and come back and build myself up to even be able to afford living in the city. I agree that it's difficult to build and grow with purpose. That doesn't mean that we're going to stop the growth of the city. We can't tell people that we're the last ones to ever buy a house in the city of Santa Fe. As many generations before me, we have been inclusive and we have really invited folks to be part of our community, right? We've been here for hundreds of years and we're on lands that necessarily weren't ours to begin with, and so we've had to learn how to coexist. We need to do that with purpose. And we've partnered with the county in a lot of amazing ways to think of better development in our updates to our land use code and our general plan. We're trying to be very intentional and ask what the community wants. But unfortunately, I can't tell you that growth is going to stop. And water is a big concern. So we are putting a lot into where we're getting our water rights, how we reuse water. A lot of the reason that some of the bills are going up is because we need a new water treatment plant to be more effective and efficient. They're difficult topics to breach, and not everyone's going to win. I think it's going to be difficult. The unaffordable, just so folks can hear, there's a lot of developers that are outside of the city, and they're trying to bring people in, is what you're saying? So there's a workforce, and I have grown up in the service industry that cannot afford to live here. So a lot of the folks who are outside of the city and commuting in, you're right, 95,000 that live here, but 150,000 that work here. And as we've heard, it is important that if you work and service this city, you should be able to live here and not have to commute an hour and a half. I agree. I mean, our homes are, but that has to do with the market. So what we're trying to do is build, unfortunately, to bring down some of those prices, but we also need to think about renters. Sorry, again? There is, and we have a plan, and you should go to our website to talk about our water reuse. There is.
Let me address the water issue for just a second, because I'm the new chair of the Water Conservation Committee. But you're going to leave. Okay, that's fine. The city of Santa Fe, back. Okay, thank you. Behind the speaker, probably. Okay, city of Santa Fe has made a lot of strides in water conservation. You can actually go, there's a dashboard that everybody can go look at that shows you exactly how far we've come along in just the past 20 years. And so thanks to the strides of our Public Works Director and our Public Works Department and our Water Department, we have made vast issues. Santa Fe is one of the leading cities in the country in water conservation. And so we're actually in a pretty good area right now. It doesn't mean we just go do what we want. It doesn't mean build, build, build without thoughtful building. To speak to Councilor Castro's comment, we need thoughtful building. But we are in a good position right now, at least for the next few years, as far as they can project. We are in a good position for water. So probably better than sound. But okay, anyway, I'm going to hand it back over. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm Councilor Bustamante. I represent District 2.
Thanks, Councilor Bustamante.
We hear a lot about affordability for homeowners, but I'm very interested in affordable rentals, and that includes rentals for people with vouchers. And I'm wondering what the city is doing for that.
Thank you for your questions. Our vouchers are administered through the Civic Housing Authority and then also the county. So anyone should be eligible to get into an affordable housing development, and if you're not, and you're being discriminated against, you need to contact our website and fill out a complaint form so we can do an investigation. And there are penalties that are associated with that. And so we don't know what we don't know. If you're not reporting it, we don't know what's happening. So you need to be reporting these discrimination efforts that are happening with our apartments and multifamily housing developments, and even single-family developments.
Hi. Is this audible? Okay. I have several different questions. I'll try to just... Okay. I have several different questions, but I just want to respond as someone who does receive Section 8 voucher. It's not that there can be discrimination, but the actuality is there's a waiting list. The funding is what's lacking, and there are very long waiting lists for people who want to receive Section 8. And that was actually one of my questions, is how can the funding for Section 8 be improved? Okay, so I would like to know if you have any idea of the percentage of people who, like investors, who buy up homes and raise the prices for everybody. It's a phenomenon that's going on all through the country, and I think that that's a major part of why so many costs have gone up. And I would like to know if there's any way to limit or prevent investment developing that does raise the price. Okay, I'll just do my other questions quickly. I was living in Albuquerque for a while. In Albuquerque, they have land trust, which is a different thing than what you've talked about, where the land is owned and people buy their housing for a 99-year lease. But the cost is much less because they're not also buying the land. So I didn't hear you mention land trust, and I'd like to hear if that can be considered. Okay, and the third thing is studios for artists, funding for Section 8, and also myself as a senior living on Social Security. I still want to buy my own home. I want a home where I have a studio and so on. To what extent can there be support for seniors who are maybe lower income than young families? They are equally part of the demographic, and I would like to have more attention for the needs of seniors who have not yet bought their own home, which is me. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your questions. Let me first tell you about the Section 8 vouchers and project-based vouchers. Those are administered through HUD, and they only release them during a certain time, and they don't have any methodology of how these are released. But every city that I've lived in, first of all, I forgot to tell you all that I'm a 7th generation New Mexican, and I've come back after moving to Louisiana, Texas, and then also in Arizona. Every city that I've worked for has the same problem. There's not enough vouchers to go around to the community. And so that's a HUD issue, and it's probably going to get worse with the new administration that we have. So let's prepare ourselves and let's start thinking outside of the box on what we can do. And seniors are important to our community. We value our seniors here. And so what we are looking into at the city is partnering with an affordable housing developer that wants to create senior housing, because that's very important to us. We know factually that this community is aging. We know it, and it's rapidly aging. I mean, let's look around. You know, it's very prevalent that we need to do something for our elderly because they need to be able to live here. It's really important too that we get young people into affordable housing because they're important. So I'm a huge advocate of keeping the families together here. I don't have an answer for you in terms of getting senior housing. It's not something that I have in my back pocket yet, so I just ask you to be patient. We know that you have those needs, and we want you to be a homeowner. But maybe Habitat could talk to you and help you out. So they're right behind you. Kathy Collins is always really readily available to assist. So I hope that helps you, and I hope I answered all of your questions. Studios. We do have a multifamily housing development that caters to our studios, to studio artists, and that was developed, okay. And what do you think? It's too small. Well, oh yeah, Escondido too. So, well, maybe, I'm hoping that my friend Kathy Collins can help you and get you into a home where you can have the space that you need to live and thrive. And investors, thank you. So because of fair housing laws, we are not able to tell investors they can't move here. It would be against the law due to fair housing. So I don't know how to answer that. There's not an easy way to answer that. If people have money and they're bringing in cash and you're selling your house, people want to take those cash sales on their homes. So I don't know how I could potentially control that because it is fair housing and everybody is entitled to fair housing. But there's laws that, Who has the mic?
Sorry, we can't hear you without the mic, and they're about to announce that they're going to close the space. A few of us will stick around to get information and questions, so we'll take our last question, and then I will follow up with you after, I promise. There you are.
Working now? Great. So it was a question about the missing middle that you had talked about a little bit. So it's kind of a question for the city, but also all the people here. What kind of price point, like for sale, would that be? Would there be an appetite from the city or people who are looking to buy for small footprint homes that are maybe 2 bedrooms, but sub $300,000, like 250 or so, and for 1 bedrooms that are, under $200,000? what the city's trying to do? And is that something that people who are looking for purchases would be interested in?
So the short answer is from some of us, yes, and I'm looking at folks in the room that I'm actively working on some initiatives with. I think that what we have called workforce housing in different scenarios is what you're talking about. Also, this idea of the compound, the family compound that the director was talking about. They look a little bit different in historic Santa Fe, and that's another conversation that is being had currently, how historic might limit some of these exciting new projects. And Habitat, I'm looking at you because I know you've had some trouble around multifamily homes in historic district. So yes, it's an active conversation of changing the structure and the way that we do permitting. So thank you. We will be here afterwards to continue the conversation. Please reach out. Alma Castro, Fabiola Chavez, thank you team. CDC, thank you for being here.